On the news tonight, there are 15 million child workers in Nigeria, FG. A no-nonsense officer, Buhari Obasanjo, paid tribute to late Dia. Obasanjo's father, not fully Yoruba, might be Igbo man, Fani Kayode. PDP National Chair Ayu fights back, says only NEC can suspend him. On to sports, Super Eagles fly out for Guinea-Bissau return leg. For more updates on YouTube, the handle is BGI TV Current. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Now the news in detail. The federal government has said not less than 15 million children were involved in child labor in the country. This is even as the International Labour Organization, ILO, lamented that about 160 million children were actively engaged in child labor globally. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment, Kacholom Daju, who disclosed news of the 15 million children engaged in child labor, said government was not resting on its oars to see that the fight against child labor and forced labor was reduced to the barest minimum, if not completely eradicated. She noted that the children who were seen as leaders of the future side ought not to be exposed to such practices at tender age, but rather shown love and properly catered for in the interest of the country. Going on to the next story. President Muhammadu Buhari and ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo have paid tribute to the late Lieutenant General Oladipo Dia, who died in the early hours of Sunday. In separate statement, President Buhari and Obasanjo hailed the exemplary character and commitment to the nation. The president recalls that Dia was known for his brilliance, exceptional organizational skills, and discipline, and he displayed these virtues in the important roles he held in office as a military officer. President Aide Femi Adesina said in a statement on behalf of his principal. The president saluted the former chief of general staff for his love, belief, and loyalty to the country he cherished so much and fought gallantly on the front lines to defend our unity. On behalf of the federal government, the president extends heartfelt condolences to Dia's family, friends, and colleagues. For Obasanjo, the death of the former military governor of Ogun State has further depleted the nation's leadership, according to a statement from the former president's special assistant on media, Kehinde Akinyemi. Going on to the next story. Former Aviation Minister Femi Fani-Kayode has expressed the belief that ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo's father might not be a Yoruba man. Fani-Kayode said Obasanjo's silence over a recent comment by Igbo businessman Emmanuel Nwayahu that Yoruba people are political rascals was an indication that the former president's father was an Igbo man, not Yoruba. Nwayahu said Igbo people had invested so much in Nigeria and were not going to yield to the pressure of people asking them to leave. Speaking in Oka, Anambra State, on Saturday, Nwayahu berated Yoruba people. However, Fani-Kayode said he was disappointed that Obasanjo was silent over Nwayahu's anti-Yoruba comment. Talking to his Twitter handle, Femi Fani-Kayode wrote, "The fact that our revered leader and one of the fathers of our nation, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, can sit there and say nothing when Nwayahu mentioned, who I have always respected, describes the entire Yoruba race as rascals, that the Igbo will deal with tells me that the rumor that he is not a fully Yoruba man and that his father was an Igbo may well be true." And to the next story. The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Dr. Ayocha Ayu, has dismissed his purported suspension from the party by his Agrov World Party executives in Benue State, describing those who instigated the action as ignorant. Ayu said he cannot be suspended by his world leadership because the party's constitution prohibits any organ of the party or executive committee of the party or at ward or state level from taking any disciplinary measure against any member of the party's National Executive Committee. Ayu, who noted that the exercise was in futility, further added that the letter used in suspending him was fraudulent as the signatures of the ward executives were forged or obtained under duress. He added that about 9 members of the ward ESCO were still being held hostage in locations in Makurdi, Benue State capital, for obvious reasons. Some party executives at the ward level on Saturday and Sunday declared Ayu suspended for alleged anti-party activities. Ayu's suspension was effected by the PDP ward executives in his local ward of Boko, local government area of his native Benue State. And to the next story coming from Rivers State. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has dared the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to come after him after the end of his tenure, insisting that he would not run away from the anti-graft agency when his tenure expires May 29. Wike, who was reacting to a recent statement by the EFCC that it would move against corrupt governors at the expiration of the tenures when their immunity would have elapsed, said he has nothing to hide and would gladly honor the EFCC if invited. Wike, who spoke as a guest on Channel's television breakfast program Sunrise Daily on Monday morning, said he was not bothered by the threat of the EFCC chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa, that the agency would arrest corrupt governors whose tenures end on May 29. Going on to the next story, and in case if you're just joining, you are watching the world news from BGI TV Currents. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has directed workers to report banks not dispensing cash to its state councils ahead of planned strike over the scarcity of Naira notes across the country. This is even as leaders of NLC have scheduled a meeting of National Executive Council (NEC) meeting tomorrow to take a final decision on Wednesday's planned nationwide strike. Information gathered that NLC gave the directive weekend after its NEC meeting on Friday, where affiliate unions and state councils of NLC were directed to monitor the cash situations and how banks were dispensing Naira notes to workers. Speaking in an interview with Information gathered, President of NLC, Joe Ajaero, said, "Our affiliate unions and state councils were directed to monitor the situation. Workers have been directed to report banks not dispensing cash to NLC state offices. Our state councils and affiliate unions are to report back to us the prevalent situations in their states by Tuesday, when we will hold another NEC meeting. The reports we get from them will determine our next line of action." Moving on to the next story. Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba disclosed information on Monday during a meeting with commissioners of police from the 36 states of the Federation and FCT, as well as other senior officers. It's coming, over 700 offenders have been arrested by men of the Nigeria Police Force (NPF) for violation of electoral law during the 2023 general elections. According to the IGP, the exact figure of those arrested currently stands at 781. Giving more details regarding the arrest, IGP Alkali Baba said 185 cases of electoral infractions were recorded during the presidential election, with 203 arrests made. For the governorships and state assembly elections, the police chief stated that 304 electoral breaches were recorded and 578 offenders were arrested. The IGP said the meeting with the commissioners and other leaders within the force has become critical in the face of the threat to national security by some political actors who he says are trying to undermine the peace of the country after the elections. Going on to the next story. There was tension in Ungokpala area of Imo State on Monday as gunmen killed 3 personnel of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Correspondent gathered that the incident took place at Ekesu Market in Obiagu community in Ungokpala, local government area of the state. A witness who spoke anonymously said the officers were attacked in the early hours on Monday in an ambush while they were in a vehicle. At the time of filing the report, security operatives had taken over the community and were said to be arresting youths of the community in order to fish out the culprits. Spokesperson for the police in the state, ASP Henry Okoye, who confirmed the murder of the 3 Nscdc personnel, said that security operatives had moved into the community and normalcy has been restored. From the national news, we go to foreign story from Ukraine. A Ukrainian official in the battered frontline town of Avdiivka in the eastern Donetsk region said Monday municipal workers were being withdrawn as Russian forces claim a criminal gains nearby. It's a shame to admit, but Avdiivka looks more and more like a scene from post-apocalyptic movies, the head of the town's administration, Vitaly Barabash, said on social media. Therefore, a difficult decision was made to evacuate municipal workers who at least somehow try to maintain the cleanliness and vitality of the city. Russian forces have been working to capture the entire eastern Donetsk region for several months, with the focus of fighting centering on Bakhmut north of Avdiivka. I strongly recommend leaving Avdiivka because Russian rockets and projectiles do not spare anyone or anything, no matter what views you hold, Badbash added in the statement. And then the world news is coming from the sports story. The Super Eagles have departed for Guinea-Bissau ahead of the second leg of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON qualifier. A video on the team's social media platforms showed the team departing Abuja for the game at the Estadio 24 de Setembro in Bissau. We are off to Guinea-Bissau, the video caption read. The first leg of the encounter saw Nigeria lose shockingly to the Wild Dogs at home, catapulting Guinea-Bissau to the zenith of the Group A race for the continental showpiece. But the Nigerian side are hoping to make amends when the second leg tie takes place by 5 p.m. today. That ends the world news from BGI TV Currents. Before we go, some major headlines. There are 15 million child workers in Nigeria, FG stated. A no-nonsense officer, Buhari Obasanjo, paid tribute to late Oladipo Dia. Obasanjo's father, not fully Yoruba, might be an Igbo man, Femi Fani Kayode. We also brought to you, PDP National Chair Ayu fight back, says only NEC can suspend him from party. Also, Wike dares EFCC, says he won't run after his tenure. And on sport, which end the world's news, Super Eagles fly out for Guinea-Bissau second leg match. For more updates on our YouTube channel, the handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. Good evening.